At last week's trade deadline, while all eyes were on the Lakers and Anthony Davis, the Sixers GM Elton Brand snuck in some talks with the Clippers that shored up their starting lineup in a major way, dropping the gauntlet on the rest of the Eastern Conference when they picked up none other than Tobias Harris. With the Clippers this year, Harris was arguably an all-star, leading them to a surprisingly strong record. But they were hesitant to pay him a max salary this summer when he becomes a free agent, so moving him before the trade deadline served a number of purposes for both teams. The Clippers can now go after Kawhi Leonard with plenty of cap space. The Sixers just put together the best starting lineup east of the Bay Area, and in a Lawrence Frank and Jerry West Jedi mind trick, by helping Philly get better, it might conceivably mean the Sixers knock the Raptors out of the playoffs, further pushing Kawhi to leave for the sunnier climes of LA. So let's look at what Harris brings to the Sixers and if it pushes them over the top. The first thing that jumped out at me is how often he's bringing the ball up the court for them. And it's a great way to set up teammates like Joel Embiid, since he needs to be taken seriously going to the hoop, and that will surely draw the big man into the paint, opening up open threes for Joel out top. And he's enough of a threat in a quick drag screen from Embiid that he can draw both defenders and hit Embiid popping for another open three. An interesting piece of trivia is that Tobias Harris was traded from Milwaukee to Orlando for JJ Redick as part of a multiplayer deal, and while they've never been teammates, they're already showing signs of good chemistry, since Harris bringing the ball up allows Redick and everyone else to spread the floor very wide, opening up space to operate for quick open shots. Look how quickly they can get 4 men up the floor on the break, outnumbering the defense, and Harris seems to have a radar for finding Redick open in rhythm for the splash. He's not going to make incredible no-look Magic Johnson passes in transition, but he can really help give the Sixers an advantage in this area, especially for a guy like Redick, who is a lot better when creating after a teammate gets him some space. But let's not get too carried away with his passing. He's here to be a scoring threat, and his ability to handle the ball down the middle, find a screen from fellow ex-Clipper Boban, and just turn the corner for a nifty reverse is something special for the Sixers. Even with the lack of spacing that comes by playing alongside Ben Simmons, he's finding ways to get into the lane, and he's excellent once inside the blue area. The Sixers had been missing a guy who could grab the rebound, bring it up, and isolate into the kind of close shot at the rim that makes them very hard to beat, and Harris is their guy. Tobias has been an elite shooter from behind the arc for several seasons, and he's now playing alongside enough firepower that the shots he'll get should be the easiest of his career. Just look at how fast they can get down the court and fill lanes, with enough willing passers that Harris will be the recipient of a lot of these open corner shots, particularly with Simmons avoiding jump shots himself. Simmons is the biggest threat for the Sixers in transition, so he'll no doubt draw a lot of attention, but his vision is fantastic and he's had no problem spotting Harris when open. He's not limited to just catch and shoot threes either. He is very capable in the pick and roll, and if you go under the ball screen on him, he's going to hit a high percentage of these shots. In the half court, he's also proving to be a bit of a playmaker. He threw 6 dimes in his second game against the Lakers, and the adjustment to the Sixers offense has been smooth, as he's been able to make the easy passes for good looks, but also create off the dribble and know where the weak side shooters are to generate more good looks off his aggressiveness to the hoop. I've been to a few Clippers games this year in person, and even talked to Tobias one-on-one, and you should definitely do the same. If only there was somewhere to easily buy tickets. SeatGeek. I just wish there was a phone number or a website, no, a mobile app
SeatGeek
that could search the internet for the best ticket prices for sporting events, concerts, and even the theater.
SeatGeek.
It would be awesome if you could see the vantage point from the seat.
Oh my God.
And use a number system to grade what kind of value you're getting.
SeatGeek.
You know what? It would make it perfect if someone could invent this and then give people $20 off their first purchase if they use a code related to my site. How about B-ball?
Really?
Darn. I guess we'll just have to rely on these videos and what Brett Brown can design for Tobias Harris in his offense. Coach Brown has already unleashed the Harris post-up. He's getting a lot more than he was in LA, and even in a lineup with Boban and Simmons, just look at the weak side spacing here, he's able to muscle his way to a good score on the turnaround off the glass. Brown clearly senses that without any spacing in this lineup, they might as well work the ball down low, since even a miss in the post can get cleaned up by Boban for an easy putback. And with the starters, this lineup is so big, how big is it? It's not hard to get mismatches, and they have no issues getting into the new guy so he can go to work down low. By replacing Wilson Chandler with Tobias Harris, they're getting a guy who can go to the hole and finish better with all manner of footwork and shot style, and his status in the league ensures he'll get his share of calls from the refs. He's got an economy of motion, nothing too fancy, just get to the hole, use the body to protect the ball, and lay it up soft with touch. And every once in a while, he'll really surprise you with some thunder, like this pistol action where he turns the corner on the handoff and just destroys the rim and JaVale along with it. Bringing two guys like Tobias and Boban into this locker room should also serve to balance out the tough love of Jimmy Butler, something that has proven to be toxic in Butler's previous stops. And one thing we've seen in the first 3 games of the Toby and Bobby show is a dramatic decline in usage percentage of Butler. Before the trade, Butler was second on the team at 22.4%, and since then, he's dropped to 5th on the team at 17.8%. And don't get me wrong, this is a good thing. Butler's usage should be 3rd or 4th highest on the team he's on. And by bringing in Tobias, someone whose game blends in so well, it should make the team even tougher. Defensively, they're getting another long player who exerts plenty of energy on that end, enabling him to be versatile and switchy onto different positions, and even in a pinch, defend bigs down low. Currently ranked 12th in defensive rating, he should help improve that ranking by a spot or two, and that puts them on the cusp of championship contender by virtue of having a top 10 ranking in both offensive and defensive rating. Of course, last night's loss of the Celtics accentuates their real issues against the other top teams in the East. They're combined 1-7 versus the Bucks, Raptors, and Celtics, and most of those games haven't been very close. Without question, Tobias Harris elevates the Sixers to a different level, both with his play and by tamping down Butler's usage at the same time. And in the playoffs, as rotations get shortened, their bench weakness might not be so glaring. With both Butler and Harris impending free agents this summer, it's a now or never mentality for the team. And I think they've got a 70% chance of getting all the way to the NBA Finals. Oh, hey, good to see everybody. Thanks for watching this video. If you made it this far, then I've got something really special for you. A free video that you can only get by clicking on the link below. It'll break down my 3 favorite actions, and I guarantee you'll love it. So what are you waiting for? I'll see you on the other side of that link. Don't forget to subscribe to BBallBreakdown and adjust your settings so you'll get notified right away. You in?